menu is the base.
Mm-hmm.
The menu determines everything.
Right.
To be honest. So
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy to get into it.
Okay. So let's kick it off then. What makes an irresistible menu?
In my opinion, the menu, an irresistible menu, comes from being really authentic to. What makes a good menu? What makes an irresistible menu that's going to get you booked over and over again? Today on The Feast, we're going to talk about just that. I'm Chef Lisa Brooks, and I'm here with Cynthia, and this is my BFF. This is my road dog, my day one right here, and we're just going to be chatting about this personal chef life. Today, focus is menu.
Yeah. That is the focus.
Yes.
And a very important focus, I'm sure, because
Yes.
the menu is, it's the experience, but it's the menu that draws them in.
The menu is the base.
Mm-hmm.
The menu determines everything.
Right.
To be honest. So
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy to get into it.
Okay. So let's kick it off then. What makes an irresistible menu?
In my opinion, the menu, an irresistible menu, comes from being really authentic to the person that created it. Like there's this is not just ingredients thrown together. It's like there's me woven into it, or whoever's creating it. Like they've woven their story into it. They've woven their touches into it, like a menu item, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the menu in total should, kind of tell a story, but the menu has a lot of jobs to do. It has a lot for a personal chef.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, in any industry, one of the things I learned in culinary school, I took a class on menu development, and I'll never forget. I never forget that the instructor said, he was like, the menu, you have to start with your menu.
Mm-hmm.
He said, menu determines everything. If you're going to open a restaurant, he said, your menu, the actual menu, is going to determine what equipment you need in the kitchen. Do you need a deep fryer?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a flat top?
Right.
Same for a food truck. What do you need? How do you equip the truck?
Mm-hmm.
What size plates do we need? Are you serving tomahawk ribeyes? That's going to determine the plates we need to source, right? How big do the tables and the booths need to be?
Mm-hmm.
If you got one of those menus where it's like this,
Right.
He's like
Cheesecake Factory.
He's a Cheesecake Factory, right? What? Like he said, the menu determines everything. I just remember that just stuck in my head. Although wasn't going in the restaurant industry, but still, it's really true.
Mm-hmm.
Like the menu is going to determine what equipment I take on a job. It determines the timing
Mm-hmm.
of a dinner party, for example. It determines, I have to take into account my client. I need to take into account what I want to express. And so all of that is happening through the vehicle that is the menu.
Mm-hmm. So what is your process for creating a menu that is, do you go with trends? Do you just have traditional?
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with your menus?
Nothing against trends, and I literally, honestly, try to absolutely not do trends. For me, a menu is always being developed for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a note in my phone, that I continue to add. It's called menu ideas,
Okay.
And every time something hits me, it might be in the middle of the night, it might be, I had something in a restaurant and it inspired me. I saw something somewhere, whatever. And I think of this amazing idea. And I'm like, oh, I could do this with this. And I just put it in that note on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time for me to actually sit down and create a menu, literally, right now, I'm creating my spring-summer menu for Heart and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first place I go is to that note, right? First place I go is to that note at all of my undeveloped ideas,
Mm-hmm.
right? And see what hits me, what do I feel is appropriate for the season, etc. And then I have to go through the process of vetting that item. Would it appeal to my ideal customer? Can I plate it so that it can be high end? how do I make this thing represent me and who I am and where I'm from and all of that? Can it be logistically executed in somebody's house in 3 hours? Right. Like it has to kind of pass that's the vibe check for us. The menu for the menu, it has to pass the vibe check. So does if it passed those things, then I can actually develop the thing, because it's just an idea. I have no idea. Like if you ask me, I'm going to be able to sit down now and write what I think is going to be the recipe. If you put a gun to my head and say, make this, what am I going to do? That's how I teach. That's how I teach folks in my training. It's like, I don't have a recipe. Of course you don't. You just made this up, right? So, but if I put a gun to your head or said, I'll give you $1 million if you can make this dish, you have some idea, because you can cook, right? You got some idea what you're going to do. You know what I mean? At least what you're going to try, what's going to be your initial pass. So just put that down. And then you test them and plate them, and then you make adjustments, what have you. It's the one thing that honestly, like cooks, especially home cooks, Southern cooks, they break out. How do you say you got to write a recipe down? But we have to do that because we have to, be consistent, and we have to cost it out. But that's my process for developing a menu. There's other things, of course, that come after that, and we can talk about those as far as balancing it out when you consider now what the customer is going to need.
And that's something I was getting ready to ask next. When it comes to your own creativity, do you find it challenging when it comes to our clients more so wanting comfort food, or are you able to be creative with your menus?
Well, I'm able to be creative with my menus. It's one of the things I tout about this industry, about this particular lane that I'm creating, if you will, with personal chefs doing private dining experiences in people's homes, helping people celebrate life's moments, and crafting a menu that represents you, that can that will be attractive to them. You have complete creative freedom over that, right? And so if the food that you do naturally is comfort food, right? I can make that high end for a dinner party if I want to, or I can do anything. It's like a chop challenge or whatever. You tell me to make meatloaf, mashed potato, and peas upscale, I'll do it. You know what I mean? I will absolutely do it. In fact, that's a good challenge for my people in my coaching. But how many different ways can you do meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas? Like that's actually a good challenge. I might do that. I do that in my community. So, but there's probably a bazillion ways, right? And so, the of course, then I can make it comfort food as well. If I'm in a vacation chef situation, where that's not where we're not making fancy food in a vacation chef situation. A vacation chef, what I mean by vacation chefing is someone's rented an Airbnb or some type of VRBO, a rental. It's either family vacation, friend vacation, bachelorette weekend, or a business retreat, some type of leadership, executive retreat, or yoga retreat. Anything where a large group has rented a huge home, and there's too many people to take out on a reservation, at a restaurant, or there's there's who in the group wants to cook for all 30 hours, right. You know what I mean? Shop, clean up, that's the whole thing, right? And so you need a personal chef to come in and do that. So we're the perfect solution for that issue. So, but in those situations, they just eat food. They're not trying to. It's not, unless there might be one night they have a big occasion or something. But for the most part, you can just, you can do waffle bar in the morning. You can do baked potato bar, soup and salad in the afternoon. You can do mashed potatoes, meatloaf, and peas for dinner. You know what I mean? So you have an opportunity with the different types of services that you're offering to be every part of yourself, right? So I have opportunities to do comforting food in those occasions, and then I have opportunities to create really high-end and dramatic presentations in the dinner party space. So it's one of the criteria when I'm helping someone sort through what type of chef they want to be, what type of services they want to offer. Like, do you like working in this environment? Do you like working in that environment? Do you like plating, or do you rather, do more comforting, like those types of things? Do you like to work alone, or do you like to work with a team? To help people to be able to determine what type of chef they want to be. It's just one of the things that we take into account. So you obviously use your creativity at every stage.
Do ingredients matter?
Do ingredients matter? Absolutamente. I'm going to tell
Okay.
you right now, because I go to Sam's Club. I see the caterers. I see the caterers in there get pre-made little appetizers, frozen appetizers. They about to go
Uh-huh.
serve somebody in a little pre-made. They got a whole section in Sam's Honey in the freezer section. All these little things, child caterers be wearing them out. The little muffins and all. They don't bake. I'm sure there are caterers who make all their food. But I'm just saying, there's a lot who do not.
Yeah.
And I always tell my folks, like, people don't pay us to bring pre-brought stuff into their house. Like, they don't. That's not what they're not paying a chef for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to create something out of the grocery, out of ingredients, and so. Does it matter to the client? Well, that depends on the client. You have to assess that. There may be clients, especially obviously with meal prep. That's something you're gonna ask on your assessment. And do you want me to shop at a specific store? Do you want wild caught, grass fed, organic? Where there's another family who don't want. We don't want it. We can shop anywhere. We just want food, right? You know what I mean? So those two clients can have very different grocery bills, obviously, right? But in those cases, it's a custom service, so you're cooking to that. But if you are doing private dinner parties, high end services, the services that I think are the most profitable, then you really can elevate your menu simply by saying, where this comes from. If it's local, what's name the farm. We got our signature heritage pork from Windy Hills Farm, or we got our local microgreens from Tiga K. So geography matters as far as ingredients, and it just in raising the perceived value of a menu. Obviously, the cut of meat or getting really nice fresh green vegetables. All of that absolutely matters, because even though I say all the time, well, it's not just about the food. The reason I say it's not just about the food, is because I'm assuming you got the food part down pat, right? The food part you can cook, but don't short on the ingredients, right? Build the best ingredients. Build that into your price, so that you never feel like you have to try to save money or skimp on your ingredients. Just build it in.
So how do you communicate that to your clients? Premium ingredients.
Well, in the menu, it's part of the description. Right? Like I teach menu description. When I'm in the menu masterclass, I have a whole section called Descriptions Matter. Words matter. I couldn't give you a menu right now that's just like, salmon patties, okra, rice, green beans, and, bread pudding, right? And say, okay, this is the menu. Or I could say, and yeast rolls, right? Or I could say, warm, fresh baked yeast rolls with fried chicken skin honey butter on the table. And then the next course is whole fried okra with scallion cream sauce, and salmon croquettes with Cajun Creole cream sauce, and southern smoked turkey braised green beans. You know what I mean? And a mushroom scented rice pilaf. Just those descriptions alone.
You lost me at when you said fried chicken skin. Whatever that was, I was like, wait a minute, is that a real thing?
You didn't hear nothing after that, did you?
I didn't. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I did not, because I was like, is that a real thing? And I'm trying to keep up with you, but my mind kept going back. Fried chicken, honey.
Chicken skin butter.
Yeah, fried chicken skin. But for real, is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing, because I made it. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, you can make a compound butter out of anything. When you talked about creativity in the menu, these are things that have people coming back. It's like, what? You want somebody to look at your menu, and you want them to go, what?
Right.
That's what you want. You want them to go,
wait.
I
just did.
You want them to go, wait, what? I have to have this. I have to try this. Baby, come here. Look at this. Girlfriends, get on the phone. Look at this menu.
Listen.
Look at this menu. We have to go here. We have to hire this person. We have to get them. Let's throw something. Whose birthday next? Your birthday? Good. We having a birthday party. We're going to hire Heart and Soul because we need this menu. That's the power of a menu. Your menu is your biggest salesperson.
Wow. Listen, I'm still stuck.
You're still reeling from the
I really
fried
am.
chicken skin butter.
But you know what it made me think about that? You know, something that was one of your signatures before you really got into one of your signature desserts when you were doing your Sunday dinners.
Yeah.
What was it?
What was it? I had
remember your cookies?
Oh, my chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
And my oatmeal raisin pecan cookies.
Yeah. Now those were something that everyone was like, "Are you making the cookies?"
Right.
You know?
People still people would come by and buy quarts of my cookie batter because I'm like, y'all, I can't just keep making dozens of cookies. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like at church, they would use my cookies as welcome gifts for like new visitors and stuff. And so after a while, I'm like, I can't keep making these cookies. So I just gave my recipe to a couple other people at the church, right? Them cookies, they were like, nah, dog, them cookies ain't the same.
Listen, I'm just going to say, now, you all heard in the introduction, she said BFF, her day one, all this kind of stuff. So I called her, and we're chatting. I'm talking, you know, well, hey, yo, listen, can I get some of the cookies? You know, she sends me the recipe. Like, you would cook your own. I was like, it's not the same. You know,
you can give a man fish, and you can teach him to fish. Like, I gave you the recipe, dog.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? I gave you the keys to the kingdom.
I'm just saying.
But nobody's been ever. Every person I've given the recipe to was like, nah, man, it ain't the same. Well, I mean, I didn't tell you all my little tricks I do in the oven when I'm making the cookies.
See,
to make the crispy little edges with the little soft center. It's like some tricks involved.
Like a Cracker Barrel pancake with a crispy edge.
Edges.
That's just. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever wondered what type of personal chef business is actually the best fit for you? Like, should you be doing private dinner parties, meal prepping, or vacation gigs? Look, I got you. I created a free quiz that will tell you exactly which business model makes the most sense for your lifestyle, your strengths, and your goals. And it takes just 2 minutes to complete. At the end, you'll get a personalized roadmap that'll show you how to earn more while working less and the exact steps you need to get started. Don't waste time guessing. Hit the link in the description, take the quiz, and start building the personal chef business that's right for you.
Okay. Now, with all that being said as well, how important is it to for the photography portion of your menu items? You know, how important is that in setting your creating your menu and also bringing in those clients
to market? Yeah, absolutely. Well, photos are probably your second biggest salesperson. I mean, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, I mean, I can tell you all day how good my food is. You look at my website and look at the gallery. It's like, okay, are you available? When people call us, they simply need to know if we're available. They see the menu, they see the price, they see the photographs, they see the person, they see our, like, we've answered every question they have. They just need to know, are we available on their date? That's it, right? Because the photographs tell the story. It's you know, and at some point, you know, I always talk about the low overhead in starting a personal chef business. It's not, you don't need $250,000 like you would to get a food truck, or $500,000 plus investors to open a restaurant. It's very little overhead, so you don't need much to start, you know, business. But as soon as you can, get professional photographs of your food, just as soon as you can, because I mean, you can take a good iPhone photography. You can go to YouTube. You can figure out how to do. You know what I'm saying? You can make it work. So you can make it work to start. But when people see a picture of something, that's like it's gonna create that desire, which is exactly what marketing is. It's creating the desire, and how better to do that than to show that food, to show smiling guests, to show professional servers pouring wine or water. Like, you want to catch the action shots, you want to catch everything, so you're painting the picture of the experience. But you can make an amazing plate of food, take a terrible picture with lots of shadows, right, and with terrible plating, and it's just not that's not gonna sell anyone. So I think photography is I really believe that's the thing that from the beginning made us stand out over anyone else, is that we had great photography of our food.
Is there a certain layout or specific layout that you will use on your website to kind of push people to a higher end on the menu?
So when developing a menu, and this is part of the like advanced training in my coaching program, is you don't have to do this to begin. You just let's get your menu out and done. Let's get you 5-course, 3-course, 7-course, whatever you choose to do. I suggest having a 5-course menu minimum, right? You can always offer in a package. You can choose a 3-course, or you can use a 4-course, or you can choose all 5 courses, and that gives you levels to your experience, right? And of course, you know, in the different things that you have on your menu, but it creates what we call like a value ladder, right? So whereas you may go to my website, this is almost getting into a pricing conversation, but it's menu. Like you can go to the website and you can see the menu right there. You see photos, you see the menu, you see the pricing, you see everything you need, but we're structuring it in a way in which if you just saw one menu, one price, well, here's the menu and here's the price. This is what you get, and here's the price. Someone might say, "Gosh, like $145 per person. That's a lot, you know." And maybe they keep scrolling, what have you. But the psychology of having my elite package at $145 and then my enhanced package, which now you add, the 4th course to it, and then which is now $195 or whatever, and then the executive package, which has the 5 courses plus, the amuse bouche, and that is, $275 a person. So that person who thought that that $145 was a lot, when they see it in context, it's like, oh, yeah, that 145 looks real good. You know what I mean? Like that's, and then you have the people who jump straight to the top. Oh, we want the best. We want the executive.
Right.
So it's just psychology there. But when you talk about how do you structure it, you want to lead people. You want to lead people into their decision on your website by this is who I am. This is what I do. These services that I offer. And when you drill down on the services, now here's the menus. This is listen to me. If you aren't developing your menu in advance, and every time the phone rings, you're making a menu up on the spot, and having to you're winging it like that, you are losing money. You are losing credibility. You're not. You really are, and you're gonna be late to the game because it's gonna take you 3 days to get a quote out, whereas I can get a quote out immediately because all that's pre-done. So I'm not allowing the customer to define me and my menu. I'm defining me and my menu, and allowing the customer to make selections from that.
What have been your biggest profit generators as far as the items on your menu?
Wow, that is a great question. Am I on the Shark Tank? Profit margin. So
every now and then I throw.
So here's the thing, and that again, this is really kind of a pricing, kind of going into a pricing thing, but again, because we are personal chefs and because we are providing experiences, right? Our pricing is not so much based on the food cost. Like every other food business, there's people listening to this right now in restaurants and other caterers, and they're like, what? How is that possible? Well, because the food cost is honestly the least of our, we are stacking so much value on top of the meal, right? Because it ain't just about the meal, that there's the profit margin is in the experience. I don't know another or better way to say that, right? Like if I'm just basing on, well, cost of food times 3, cost of food times 4, some of these arbitrary formulas people use, and it's like, so the percent of profit is built into our entire experience. So it almost, how do I say this? It almost doesn't matter what's on the menu it's all going to be equally profitable. Why? Because I based my pricing up front with the profit percentage built into it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I determine that I'm going to make 20% profit in my business, then every single thing's been accounted for, including that 20% profit. So every menu item is profitable.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully that makes
it does. Well, it makes sense to me.
It's not like a restaurant or some other business where you have to have like this low cost leader, somebody that's to draw people in, you know, and then they're going to spend more money on the back end, right? It's not really like that for us. Now, I'm not an economics major by any means, right? Yeah. But I, understand that in retail there's different. You lose money on something so you can get money on the back end. So you have these loss leaders, but we don't have to have that type of situation because there's so much profit. The profit is in the experience. The profit is in the profit's in the perceived value. Yeah, but that's where the profit is. It's in the perceived value. The more you raise the perceived value, the less important the price is. We want our perceived value to be so high the price becomes relevant to our customers. Hey, if you're on this journey to turn your passion for cooking into a real business, you don't have to do it alone. You need to join the Chefista Collective. This is the place where you get the support that you need to accomplish the dream that you have. There are live masterclasses that take place, tons of resources in there, but the most important thing is you get to meet other chefs on the same journey, and we're in there celebrating our wins. All that's missing is you. This is your community, this is your tribe, and it's your time. So I'm offering you a 14-day free trial so you can hop in and see for yourself, because this is something that really can't be explained. It has to be experienced. This is the way you get this done faster, stronger, and better, because we do it together. So click the link in the description below to join the Chefista Collective completely risk-free.
How much attention do you pay to the feedback that you receive from clients when it comes to developing your menu and the evolution of your menu?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, every night I bathe in the compliments I receive from my customers. That's what I bathe in. Milk, honey, and compliments. So I bask the compliments I get from my customers. I honestly, and again, in the meal prep world, that's a constant thing. You are how people are eating. You are how they eat. You are their weeknight meals every single day. That feedback is super important because you are custom serving these folks. For private dinner parties, private dining experiences, I mean, they're just getting wowed every step of the way. Obviously, if you have a misstep or a mistake, that's an outlying thing that you would need to address. But there's not anything that's a miss on my menu. I've crafted it with intention. Everything on my menu is a hit. There are no misses.
Okay, now
it's intentional. You can decide that. Right? You can make a decision. Everything, it doesn't make it on my menu unless it earns its place there. When people call and say, well, which would you recommend? I said, there's nothing, there's no combination of things you could choose in this menu where there's anything there's no throwaways. Wow. Whatever you choose, your mind's going to be blown. Whatever you select. If it made it on my menu, it is mind-blowing. Okay. And that's done with, done with intention now, right?
That's the truth,
I mean...
So,
if I see on one of my, when I'm coaching folks and like, they'll like share their menus and go through it and they'll share it. And if I look on somebody's menu and I see some just like, you just got shrimp cocktail, like just shrimp, that's just shrimp. It's just shrimp cocktail. That's like, did you forget to add some other descriptive words? Are you doing something different with the shrimp? Is it jerk shrimp cocktail with the mango cocktail sauce, or like you know what I'm saying? What is this that's making it you? Okay, if there's nothing about this that is exciting or jumping off this page, it cannot be on there. There's no throwaways. I don't allow it. Like, I'm like tough in that way, but what you're going to end up with is a menu that's going to blow you, that you're excited to create. You're excited to show up because, like, oh my God, like, I'm about to blow these people's minds. Right? That's what you want. If you're not excited about your menu, your potential client's not going to be excited about your menu either.
So, do you have a test kitchen? Do you like, you know what I mean? As far as like, what's your process? I know you have a test kitchen, but so what's your process for developing and creating new menu items?
You know, I'm cooking is a gift, it's a talent for me. It's just a gift. I just get it. I see ingredients, I get it. I understand how they go together. You know, I understand how to balance flavors. I know how to fix things if they're broken. I know how to fix things if it's too this, what it takes to balance that out. If it's too salty, if it's too sweet, if it's too bitter, if it's too sour, like whatever the case. I know how to. I just get it, right? So, and I told you, I think that I may have mentioned before that these menu items are just ideas. It's just a concept of a dish, right?
Right.
Just have a concept of a menu at first, right? And these menu items, like, will this work? I don't know. Will it work? You know? So then we got to go test it. So what do I think the recipe would be? If I had to make this right now, what would I include? So I'm going to write that down, and that's going to be the recipe we're going to test. So then we're going to test it. We're going to taste it. You know, we see like the texture, how will it hold up, like all the things. Does it meet the criteria? Is it amazing? Does this just blow me away when I tasted it? And so if not, then we have to adjust and remake and rewrite. Okay, well, what do we do? I like to have another person sitting in the kitchen, like somebody sitting there with a pad and a piece of paper, so I can just cook, right? And so when I go grab, it needs a little bit of this, and I grab that, and that person's like, hey, excuse me, I saw you pull something out the cabinet. What was that? Oh, okay. And how much did you put in there? You know what I mean? So they can like be recording my changes to recipe. You know what I mean? Or maybe I do my voice recorder on my phone, something like that, so that I can still be in flow, right? And get it recorded at the same time. Get it written down, capturing what I'm doing, so that I have an actual recipe that's repeatable, so that I'm not the only one that can make it. All my chefs can make this thing exactly the way I do. Right. So that's my process for testing. And sometimes things don't make it. They just don't make it. It just look. It just this look. Yeah. It ain't worked. It ain't work. Yeah. And I'm really not trying to fix it. You know what I mean? And it don't make it. Yeah. You know, and it's because people always say people always say to me, like, there's nothing you make that is not amazing. I'm like, yes, there is. You'll never taste it. It'll never see the light of day. It ends up in the trash can. You know what I mean? Like my son used to say, are you good at everything? I'm like, well, son, I know it appears that way, but it's just that I don't do things I'm not good at. I mean, pretty easy fix,
that is
right?
so true.
I mean,
but
it appears like everything I do amazing. Yeah, because I only do things I'm good at. So I'm only going to present the menu items that are amazing. You'll never taste the ones that don't make it.
Yeah, well, but that in itself is a lesson as well, you know, to work on, because you always hear people talk about strengths and weaknesses. You know, that's always an interview question, all this kind of stuff. And it used to always be that people wanted you to focus on building your weaknesses to match your strengths. And there was a turn at some point on that where it was like, no, you don't focus on your weaknesses. You focus on your strengths and you build on those. Like you're saying, you don't do things that you're not excellent at. So, so if you are not good at that, don't spend so much energy over here trying to build something that is not in your gifting, for one. A lot of times we waste energy and time trying to become proficient on something that we were never meant to be proficient in. So, you know, you don't keep working on that weakness, but there's something here that's a strength that is your gift. That if you put that time and energy into that, that's what's going to raise you up. It's going to and then in business, you surround yourself with people who are proficient in that weakness, that, you know.
You hire your weakness.
Exactly.
You hire your weakness. You hire your weakness. Or, you know, like, I will hear so many savory chefs, people who are in the industry. We say, you're a savory chef or you're like a pastry chef, right? And so a lot of times it doesn't cross over. Well, pastry chefs usually can cook, but people who cook or just savory chefs, they're like, I don't bake. You know, like, I don't hear bake. People say that a lot. You know, I don't bake because baking is measuring. It's like a lot of science. Like you have to measure. Like you can't just go a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You have to measure. If it calls for a quarter teaspoon of
Right.
leveled baking soda, you better put a quarter teaspoon of leveled baking soda, or you mess up the whole thing. That's why I don't like baking. That's like I just don't want to be held to those measurements. But my point is, for a chef to say, well, I'm not good at dessert. I'm not a baker. Well, you better come up with 3 desserts that you can knock out the park.
Right.
That's all you need.
Right.
Give me something fruity. Give me something chocolatey. Give me something somewhere in between. Right. And master them. And then that's it. That's you got 3 in your house. When you have a 5-course dinner, you have to offer dessert. You can't just say, I don't make desserts. You can't do that.
Right.
Like you never made a dessert. You never made a dessert in your whole life. Well, yeah. I mean, I make. I make the best chocolate chip cookies. You said that, right? So guess what? I could actually take my chocolate chip cookies and my homemade ice cream, and I can actually make a like an ice cream sandwich. My brown butter ice cream. Like freeze them and have it's like nostalgia. Like you get this upscale, amazing ice cream sandwich with my Lisa's famous.
Yes.
That's what I call them. Lisa's famous chocolate chip cookies. My brown butter ice cream inside, and make a little ice cream sandwich. In fact, I just literally made that up, but might be on my menu. It might be on my menu pretty soon. Because, you have to go, okay, what do I know? Quit focus on what you don't know. What do I know? And then how do I take that thing and make something out of it? Because now, guess what? Not only is it slamming, it's amazing, it's authentically you. Right? It's authentic. You can go look up a recipe and figure out how to make something, but it don't mean nothing to you. Y'all done had no desserts growing up. We just ate cereal. We'll make something out of cereal. Creative, you know that?
Yeah.
You are watching this because you know there has to be more. You're tired of cooking your heart out without seeing it in your bank account. Maybe you're thinking you need a culinary degree or that you'll have to work 80-hour weeks in a restaurant first. I'm here to tell you that that's simply not true. I was just like you, stuck in a corporate job at 40 years old, dreaming of turning my passion for cooking into something more. Now I run a $500,000 a year personal chef business, and I've been featured in Forbes magazine and Ebony and even on the Food Network. But here's what really matters most. I've helped hundreds of other passionate cooks just like you do the same thing. No culinary degree required, no crazy hours, just a proven system that works. That's why I created the 5-step personal chef Kickstart strategy. This guide breaks down exactly how to build a business that gives you freedom, create experiences clients can't resist, craft an irresistible online presence, land your first high-paying clients, and start making money doing what you love. No fluff, no theory, just the exact steps I use to build my business and that my students are using right now to build theirs. Click the link in the description below to get the 5-step personal chef Kickstart strategy. Do not let another day go by wondering what if. Your future as a successful personal chef starts right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, do you have seasonal menus, and is it necessary to create seasonal menus?
I'm glad you asked that. I went for years with kind of the same menu. Like these are my signature items: my Low Country shrimp and grits, my Southern marinated filet, my smoked paprika salmon. You know what I mean? These are the stars, and they are heavy rotation on Heart and Soul's menus, right? Because people will riot. They will riot if I take my filet off that menu. But when you have a successful personal chef business, that means you have repeat clients using you again and again and again. So I realized at one place, one of the lessons I learned is that I don't want my best clients who've hired me for 3 or 4 dinner parties. They've used us for every single birthday every year.
Right.
To go, well, shit, we've tried everything. So now we don't. I don't want that. So every spring, summer, I have a new menu. Every fall, winter, I have a menu. So I don't know what year. Maybe I don't know if it was year 7, year 8 of my 15 years of business. I started doing seasonal menus. Because I realized, oh, right, these people who are using us over and over again because our food is so amazing and our service is so amazing, they're going to go somewhere else if I don't give them something new, right? And so And then there's those, we give them something new and they gonna order that southern marinated filet every single time. Because guess what? If that's your favorite thing,
right,
and you can only get it once a year, or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna use us every year for your birthday,
Mm-hmm.
you can order your favorite thing, right? So so I have my heavy things that are heavy rotation, like are the favorites, and I always introduce new things. So I get to go digging in the crates. Like the DJ said, gotta go digging in the crates. That's my note in my phone, and like pulling out some new, fun, fresh ideas. So, and you know what? It ends up being a really good marketing. I don't want to say ploy. That sounds duplicitous, but it's a good marketing strategy because I have, like, I don't know, I think maybe 6,000 customers on our email list. So when I send out an email that says our spring summer menu has dropped, just like a Jordan drop, honey, the phone is like, oh, we better get in, because we know in August this menu is going away. You know, and in August when I go, September, you know, the fall winter menu is coming, you know, drop there, because that's gonna be their holiday parties. They go ahead. We get our holidays parties, our December weekends particularly are gone in September.
Wow.
Gone. But you know what? I drop my new fall winter menu in September. Clock that.
Okay. Wow.
These are strategies that you have 100% access to when I am your coach and mentor. This is what my people get, all of this.
I see.
They get all of this.
And you might get,
but for watching the podcast, you're getting
the fried chicken honey.
The fried chicken honey butter.
Yes.
Look, what you want me? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Just let me know next time you make
the mind of Minolta.
So is anything you would like to leave with the folks as far as, you know, what we've talked about today, the different things, the photography, the strategies, the marketing, the ingredients, all of these things? Is there any, as I've asked before, any one thing that comes to your mind that you feel like is the most important thing that a personal chef needs to know when creating their menu?
Well, the menu is probably the most important. That's the most important thing you're going to do. Out of all of the activities that you're going to do in creating your business, your menu, that is your magnet. Your menu is your magnet. Okay, so spend the time on crafting your menu. Spend the time on curating. You're curating your menu. Look at it as a story you're telling over 4 courses, 5 courses, 7 courses, whatever your 10-course tasting menu. Think of it that way, perceive it that way, and then develop it that way. Do you want me to say that over again? You think it's fine? Okay,
I got it. Something I want to add to it though.
Okay.
So, all right, listening to what you just said.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when we've talked, how important is the story that goes with the menu?
Oh my goodness. You always get me with the questions that I always say, my favorite. It's my favorite thing to talk about. For me, the story is everything. Now, I understand that there are plenty of chefs that are cooking things that they have learned and they're good at. And that's fine, right? I find that I want to engage 6 senses in my get. I want to connect them. They're going to see the food. It's going to look amazing. Of course, they're going to smell it as soon as they walk in. They're smelling the food. They hear the sounds. They feel the textures. Like, all of this is part of engaging them in the dish, right? But when I tell my story, when I offer a story, when I connect them emotionally to the dish, now I've transformed this from just a meal to connecting them, like maybe back to a memory or something. And so when people leave our dinner parties, or leave, from the dinner parties that we've helped our host with, they leave changed somehow. It's like, I can't quite put the food was amazing, but it wasn't just the food. It's like what did we just experience, right? that's where story comes in. This thing means something to you. And it doesn't always have to be a grandma story, great grandma story. It doesn't have to always be that. It can be, I was at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in Las Vegas, and I had sticky toffee pudding cake, and I thought, oh wow, the British, they do make something that's amazing. Like they make this some good British food. So I'm immediately, because I'm a caramel toffee type person, that's my favorite type of dessert. So when I had sticky toffee pudding, baby, I was like, oh, I'm about to figure out how to make this right now. And I already made the brown butter ice cream. So it's like, brown butter ice cream with sticky toffee pudding cake. This is going to be amazing. And so, but so when I tell that story, when I'm served at tableside, I say, I went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in Las Vegas and I had sticky toffee pudding and I thought, wow, the British can make stuff. So that's the story.
Right.
So it's not always, oh, it's a grandma story or, you know, it's whatever the story is. You know, why did I come up with this and why is it on the menu and why is it on your plate right now? There has to be something there. There has to be more there than just ingredients on the plate. And so I feel like that's the secret ingredient is the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember
that's another
this,
life lesson.
Life lesson?
Yeah. That's another life lesson right there. Is the stories are important.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get to know people. That's how people get to know you. And you're right. That's how we connect with one another. Because when I know your story, it allows me to have a peek inside of who you are, whether it be your past, whether it's going forward or in the present moment. But it allows us to connect in that moment beyond what's in front of us. Like you're saying, beyond the food, right? So which ties to the experience.
Yes.
So yeah.
But it will inform your palate. It will actually influence and inform your palate. It's actually part, I consider it part of the flavor equation. Like, what is flavor? You know, it's whatever influences someone's palate with this dish, and my story influences their palate. If I'm talking about fresh corn cut off the cob, you know, from a grandmother's garden, and then milking the cob. I mean, that's art. You're like right now, my salivary glands are activated, right? Just from just saying it, right? And so when it's like the completion of the thought when they taste it. And it's like, so now they have almost a cathartic. You've built it up. You've told the story. I see the thing. I've smelled the thing. When they finally actually get to the taste. Then that's when the eye roll. It's just like, oh my God. Like it just went somewhere else. And so, I submit to you that the story actually informs the palate and actually becomes part of the flavor of the food.
Yeah. That's good stuff right there. That is. And it's just, and you're not just connecting with the food. But there's something that you do in your with the experience that connects you with the other people at the table.
Yeah.
So because and the food is a commonality, right? That we have when we all come and we sit at the table to eat, to talk, and do these things. But there's something about having that connection with the food, and now we're having this connection together. Yeah. So I see your eyes roll back, my eyes roll back, and be like, girl.
Yes.
Did you? Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
This is, so you walk away with a new appreciation for what you just were given for the food that you just ate, but also you've now made a new connection with the people in the room.
With the people that you just broke the bread with, that you just shared a meal.
And so when you go away and you think about that and you tell, just like I can sit here now and think about the very first one I went to, and then the next one that I went to, and I can go back all the way to the people that I've met just from your Sunday dinners. Oh, wow. You know, the friends that have become lifetime friends.
That's true.
Because think about with D, I ended up shooting D's wedding. You know, think about Shalia. Yeah. You know, and those types of things, just the connections that were made, all because of the experience. Yeah. All because of the food.
Of a shared meal, breaking bread together.
All because of the stories that were told.
Yeah.
And because of Chef Lisa bringing all of that together through a gift that you were given and you recognized and you answered the call.
Yep.
You know, and said, okay, God, I'm going to trust you.
Yeah.
And we're going to walk this way. So Yeah.
It's
So I
not just
appreciate
about
that.
business for me. Never
Right.
is about
Right.
business. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's great to make money now. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going even front about it. It's great to make money. You know what's even better? Making money in a way that seems effortless because you're doing the thing you were absolutely purposed to do, so it doesn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, menu is the basis of everything. It is, and it's fun. It's fun to create a menu. It's fun to do it. When you do it with intention, with this gift that you have, wow, boy, can you monetize that thing. I have a lot of fun talking about this subject. I love it. I love showing people how to do the thing that they know they're driven to do for a living. And so you can find in the description below this video everything about my coaching programs, my courses, my downloads and templates, our Chefista Collective, which is our private community for like-minded people who have the same vision, who have the same dream. So please just check the description below. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with all your friends. And I'll see you back on the next episode of The Feast.